Hey everyone, this is Gary Smoot, and welcome to Smoot Talk. And today's episode is When He Says No, exploring why men withhold sex. When He Says No, exploring why men withhold sex. That's what we're talking about today on Smoot Talk. Stay tuned. Hello, hello, hello. How are y'all doing today, this afternoon, tonight, this evening, however I'm finding you? Hope everybody's doing well. Thanks for tuning in. And today's show is, let me go ahead and bring up that banner real quick. Today's show is When He Says No, exploring why men withhold sex. And the reason why I'm doing this show today, yesterday I did a show talking about why women withhold sex and if it's a red flag or if it's a cry for help. So if you haven't seen that episode, check that out. This is just a part two to that episode. So today I'm talking about why men would withhold sex. And in popular culture, you can see it all over social media, all over memes, different conversations on podcasts. You see where it's common for men to say they don't turn down sex, and anything that crawls by, they're going to hit or tag. And what kind of man would turn down sex? Or um, a man that turns down sex is automatically, in question when it comes to his sexuality. But for me, this is just me. I've turned down sex from women on a couple of occasions, and for me, the main factor for turning down sex most of the time is when I was dealing with a woman who felt she was very, very cocky and felt like, oh, she's going to get it on the first night, or maybe on the second night. And for me, it was just a show of dominance. It was a power struggle, if you will, just to show this woman that, listen, I'm not like the other dudes that you might have messed with. Okay. I give I will give you this pipe when I feel like giving you this pipe. When I feel like that you deserved it. You understand what I'm saying? When I feel like it's time for you to get your dessert, you're gonna get your dessert on a silver platter. That's just me. Okay. Now I've talked to other guys before and they said they've never done that before. Me, I've done it on many occasions and loved every minute of it. But the best part about it was it made the woman want me even more, and she respected me even more, and she chased me even more. Now that's a different episode. So I'm not going to get into that tonight. That's a different episode. But for me, have I turned down women sexually? Oh yes, I've done it. But for the most part, it was for, and I'm not talking about um, turning down a woman when I'm in a relationship. I'm just talking about we went on a date or maybe a second date or whatever, and she's thinking, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and see what this dude is about," and I turn him down, you know, and have them wondering and have them guessing and have them. But that's for another episode. So it was just purely, for me to make a point. But excuse me. But but in popular culture, it is seen everywhere. I just got finished looking at a video earlier, looking at a podcast, and guys were talking about that two guys were talking about that they never turned down sex. And one guy, I think it was Chris Brown, he was on there. He was saying, "What do you mean?" And I saw a comment that was underneath the post, and some people said, "Oh, it's Chris Brown, the entertainer, singer, R&B singer." That, oh, okay, of course he can turn down women. He's getting women throwing their panties at him everywhere he goes. But at the end of the day, even though he's Chris Brown, he doesn't have to accept everything he gets. He's still a man. But a guy wrote something in the comments that I felt. He wrote in the comments, he said, "There's been some times where turning down women and turning down a sexual advance or turning down the panties saved my life." And for me, That's all also been the factor too. One time I was talking with a woman, and me and her were hanging out, and well, this is probably happened about 2 or 3 times, but we're hanging out, we're chilling. She's not being as upfront as she's supposed to as far as her relationship. I find out, she wanted me to come back to the house. I didn't come back to the house, and I come to find out, she's married. I had another situation where the lady had gotten to an argument with her boyfriend. She wanted to get back out here and I guess prove a point. Um, Me and her had knew each other, so I was like, wow, she really, really, really coming strong on me. Me and her went out, we chilling. She wanted me to come back to her spot, and then come to find out, her and her boyfriend had an argument. I guess he had left, and she was prove a point, trying to prove a point. And only God knows what would have happened if I would have went back to her place and he would have came back. Down here in Atlanta, I live in Metro Atlanta, and a famous rapper named Trouble. Maybe like a year ago, 2 years ago, he was talking to a lady. He went back to her home. Her husband came back to the home. They had gotten to a fight or had been fighting for the past couple of weeks or whatever it may have been. He left. And I think got locked up. So he was locked up, got out of jail. First thing, of course, he's gonna do is come home. Come home. The rapper Trouble is in the bed with his wife. Even though I guess she had filed a restraining order or told him don't come back to the house. Of course, he's gonna come back anyway. Pull out his gun. He shot Trouble. He died. True story. You can go look that up. So yeah, what the brother said in the comments, turning down a sexual advance or turning down the panties, has it saved his life? I'm very sure it saved my life. But also other men have not been so blessed in that essence. But the thing is this: do men turn down sex? Yes, for a number of reasons. Number one, I've turned down sex personally just to prove my point. I give it to you when I feel like giving it to you. Okay, that's me. Number two, I just told you in the podcast I was listening to, um, where Chris Brown and like two other guys were in it, and Chris Brown said, two guys said, "I don't never turn down no women. I don't never turn down sex." Chris Brown was like, "What? I've turned it down plenty of times." Um, and then people in the comments said, "Yeah, well, that's Chris Brown. He can turn down any woman basically he wants." But the guy said in the comments, "Hey, I've turned it down before, and it saved my life." So, of course, turning it down as far as you don't feel safe in the situation. But also, a man will turn down sex. And this happened when I was married and when I was engaged. Uh, you turn it down sometimes because you're stressed. I done came home from work. Sometimes, sex is not on my mind. You feel me? Sometimes it's just not on my mind. Sometimes it's the furthest thing from my mind. You understand what I'm saying? I just want to come home. I just want to take a shower. I want to watch some TV, or sometimes I just want to, take a shower and go to sleep because I'm so stressed out. So stress, fatigue, the job, come home, because for a man, a real man, and especially if you got a family, your mind is focused on building. Your mind is focused on furthering your kingdom. Your mind is focused on making sure your wife and your children and your family got the best that they need. And you got goals. You have things you want to accomplish. You understand? As a single man, and you out here just doing your thing, it's the same thing. You got goals on your mind. You might be thinking about, is this woman, the right queen for me? You're thinking about your job. You're thinking about getting further, maybe getting a certain type of car you've been wanting, maybe getting a certain type of degree, certain type of position. Maybe you want to travel somewhere. It just is what it is. So a lot of things be on our minds as men, and sometimes I don't feel like having sex with you. I don't feel like having to, concentrate, especially if you with a woman that takes too long to come. Oh my God. I got to sit there and I got to jump through hoops and I got to, oh baby, do you like this? And I ain't got to do somersaults and cartwheels and do, I ain't got no time for that. Okay. So sometimes, depending upon on the woman, the kind of woman that you have, and you want to make sure that she's satisfied most men. But you ain't got no time for all of that. So sometimes you just want to be left alone. Just leave me alone. Let me be in my thoughts. And then I'll come back to you when I come back to you. So stress, fatigue, mental fatigue, plenty of situations. Another one could be pent up anger, resentment. For me, I've done that before too. We done got into an argument maybe 2 days before, or maybe me and you had a conversation about buying something, and my lady went and bought it anyway. I'm like, man, you had a conversation. We couldn't afford it. Why did you go and get it? Why? Now I'm angry. I don't feel like cussing you out again. So now what do? I don't feel like talking to you. I'm gonna give you the cold shoulder. One of the factors that belongs to the group of me having the cold shoulder, turning the cold shoulder against you. One of the categories in that, one of the facets in that, it's sex. Okay, if I got the cold shoulder, turned on you or turned against you, I don't want to have sex with you. I don't even want to talk to you. Okay, pissed me off. All right, and I got to get this out and let it run its course. Okay. So yeah, anger, resentment. Not every man wants to talk it out. You understand what I'm saying? You got some guys, something might happen, they want to talk it out. I'm not that type of guy. A lot of my friends, they're not those type of men either, where hey, let's go ahead and talk it out right now. Nah, give me some time. Let me go play the game. Let me go out with the homies. Let me just go ride around in the car. Let me ride around 285, smoking this blunt. Let me do something, okay, to get my mind off of it. Then I'll come back. So pent up resentment. A lot of men hold things in. You know, um, Women like to, get it out. A lot of men, we're not wired like that. We're not built like that. So you got to give me some time to, chill, and I'll get back with you. So resentment. But the thing is that another situation that's had me turning down sex is, I remember when I came back from Iraq. Um, when I was deployed in the army, I went to Iraq, came back, and then shortly after, maybe like a year after that, I got married. And I remember I got put on all this medication, a lot of antidepressants. And what I found out, actually, like 2 years ago, I found this out. I was talking to a nurse. Me and her were hanging out. And earlier on in my marriage, way back in 2006, 2007, 2008, around that time, 2009, I was taking a lot of antidepressants, a lot of medication because I was dealing with a lot of issues from trauma that happened when I was in war. So the aftermaths of war. And I didn't know, but I would be real lazy, real tired, come home from work. I don't want to do nothing. And I remember my wife at that time would be saying, hey, she wants to do this. Hey, let's, go here. I'm not trying to do it. And then, especially when it came to the bedroom, I just wasn't interested. And she really thought I was cheating on her. She did. She really thought I was cheating on her. And so years later, now that I'm divorced, which I mean that had nothing to do with the divorce. It was some other things. If you want to know about the divorce, you can get my book called Why I Cheated. The link is above. If you go on my YouTube channel, you'll see uh, my relationship books I wrote. And click on the link, pay up link. You'll see I wrote two. One of them is Why I Cheated. But the thing is that talking with the nurse, she told me that a side effect of antidepressant medication is low sex drive. I never knew that. I never knew that. Now, for the whole marriage, was I taking antidepressants? I finally stopped taking a lot of the medication that the VA was giving me because I saw that it was slowly killing me. And then, yeah, my sex drive popped back up, came back up. But earlier on in those couple of years, yeah, my sex drive was very, very low. And she thought it was because I was out here entertaining other women sexually, which was not uh, the case. But when the nurse told me that, yeah, that's well known. I can't believe you didn't know that. Whatever, whatever. Um, it blew my mind. It blew my mind. So some men might be depressed. Some men might be taking antidepressants, and it's not the case every time a man turns down sex that he's seen another woman. It could be side effects from medication, especially if he's on an antidepressant. He might not want to talk to you about situations he has going on internally, and yeah, one of the side effects is a low sex drive. So men, if you're taking certain medications, look at the medications, talk with your doctor about what some of the side effects are, but a low sex drive with antidepressants, certain ones, I don't know if it's all of them, but I know, especially with some of the ones I was taking, yes, a low sex drive was a side effect, and that definitely affected my marriage, where she thought I was cheating on her, but I wasn't. Um, but if a man is not if a man is not having issues where he's got resentment, if he's not having issues where it's a low sex drive due to side effects, if he's not having issues where it's fatigue or just stressed out, well, ladies, you might want to talk to him because he may be out in those streets. It just is what it is. It just is what it is. And if a man keeps, I'm talking about if he keeps consistently turning you down, and it's not resentment, it's not stress from his job for trying to build, it's not that he mad at you because y'all got into an argument or whatever it may be, and he's continually turning you down. He's in those streets. So either he's in those streets, with a woman, some woman has his attention, whether at the job or whether, um, I don't know, somebody he might have met online, or maybe the homies might have turned him on to somebody or whatever. Either it's that, or what I've seen and heard from different women um, that I've met. Hey, they were with a guy. He was consistently turning them down for sex. Come to find out, he was on the down low, struggling with his sexuality, struggling with his, orientation, sexual orientation. It happens. One, I know a woman. I'm not gonna put her name out. I'm not gonna say how I know her, because if I put it out there, then and she sees this video, she's gonna know I'm talking about her. All I'm gonna say is I know a woman, and she was engaged to a guy, and they got married. I was there at the wedding. Got married. Oh, it was a beautiful wedding. Yes, it was. And they got married. I went and had some cake. Great cake. About that evening, they were supposed to go on a cruise, I think to the Caribbean or something. And he come to find out he went missing. Come to find out he went missing. He was gone for about 2 days. They called the police. They did all these searches. Then I think after about 2 days, he gave her a call. Uh, of course, she was embarrassed because they were supposed to leave that night. That's the honeymoon night, supposed to consummate the marriage or whatever. And they were supposed to leave that night to go on the cruise. And come to find out, he was missing for like 2 days. Then came and told her. She said, "Where you been? I'm embarrassed. What's going on?" Well, actually said, "Where have you been?" And she thought somebody had kidnapped him or whatever it may be. But come to find out, he got kidnapped by another guy, because at the end of the day, he had been messing around with another guy their whole relationship. It was sad. It was crazy. And then she went and got a divorce. It was very embarrassing for her, and I could only imagine the mental trauma that she went through. I mean, didn't even get an opportunity to enjoy a week of her new marriage and her new husband, because he said he couldn't do it. He said he was embarrassed. He said his family was pressuring him to marry her, so he just went ahead and did it. And yeah, he was gay. He was gay. So if it's a woman watching this, listen, man. If he's consistently turning you down, and it's not over resentment, it's not over side effects from medication, it's not over just fatigue, worried about the family, it's not over him trying to show his ego or dominance or whatever it may be. And ran out of all types of ideas and reasons and conclusions. He could be out there in them streets, and it could be a woman or it could be a man. Hey, it's 2024, so it goes down. Okay, so at the end of the day, women that are watching, please listen to your man, pay attention to your man, spend time with your man. If he says, "Let me just get some time on my own," respect that, please, but pay attention to your man. Okay, pay attention to him. Give it about a day, whatever it may be. Let him know you care about him. Let him know that you just there for him. Don't be bugging him. And like I said, most men, we just need some time. Then we'll come back. But if he's consistently turning it down, consistently turning you down, yeah, you might want to do a little digging and just be honest with them. Hey, cheating on me? I mean, most women ain't got no problem. Don't have no problem saying that. But just be honest, because it's real out here in these streets, man. And men that are watching, I mean, if you having issues and you just don't feel like spending no time with your woman, intimate time with your woman, let her know that. You feel me? It's ways you can let her know that. Sit down, talk to her, just be like, listen, I'm not in the mood. Listen, baby, I'm not cheating on you. I ain't got another woman, nothing like that. I just got a lot of stuff going on at work, or I got a lot of stuff going on in my mind, or I got a lot of stuff I want to do, or hey, you pissed me off the other day. I just need some time. Just be upfront with a woman. They'll really, really respect that, you know? Listen, before I check up out of here, make sure you like the video, share the video, tell your people about it. I appreciate everybody watching. I appreciate the likes. I appreciate the comments. Um, you know, uh, if you want to buy my books, check out my books. I got the link up at the top somewhere in the YouTube channel. You'll see it. But man, I appreciate everybody watching. Y'all be safe out here, man, in these streets, and just be open and honest with your partner. And ain't nothing wrong with taking time out and letting your partner know, hey, this is how I feel. It's nothing wrong with that. It will save you a a a lot of heartache and a lot of pain. All right. And I don't want to see nobody divorced. I don't want to see nobody broke up. I don't want to see anybody going through the things that I went through in my relationships. But if you want to know more about those, you can purchase the ebook Why I Cheated. And then also, man, I got my book called Purpose Before Pleasure. Chase women, not dream. I mean, chase dreams, not women. You can check that out too. But yeah, man, I appreciate everybody watching. Y'all be safe, man. Peace.